Hey gang, the Iron Maiden and I got in a little fender bender the other day, and she's a little worse for the wear. Fortunately, I'm fine, but she's not quite as iron as I would like. She still runs great, and the damage is mostly cosmetic, but the body shop quoted me at about what she's worth to fix the damage. So that's not the best option. Option number two is to replace her, but if you've been alive for the past 10 to 20 minutes, you know that used car prices are sky high right now. So I'm looking at spending probably 2 or 3 times what this car is worth to get a new one. And I don't love that option. If you've been watching my channel at all, you've probably figured out that I'm kind of stingy. So the less money I have to spend, the better. All right, well, let's see what's behind door number 3. I'm guessing you know by now what that one is. I'm gonna try and fix it myself. Well, I've had some successful car repairs in my time and some unsuccessful ones. So this one is a bit of a gamble, but it could save me a lot of money, and you know how I feel about that. So we're gonna try door number 3. I'm gonna try and fix it myself, and we'll see how it goes. Come along for the ride. I'm sure you can't wait to see how this one pans out.
Okay, so this is where most of the damage happened. Need a new headlight, new bumper cover, new grille, new hood hinges, new fender liner here, as you can see. Sorry about that. Just did a somersault for the fun of it. Sometimes you just gotta salt. The bumper reinforcement's probably okay. Might try and reuse the hood, we'll just see once, but first we gotta actually get the hood open. So, yeah. I'm somewhat new to Autobody repair, but my guess is it's never a good start to a project if you have to use a giant crowbar. So the first thing I'm going to do here is pull off the hood, but before I can do that I have to disconnect the windshield wiper fluid line. Other than that, it's pretty easy to remove a hood, particularly when the hinges are bent in the way mine were. Next, it's time to remove the bumper, which is kind of a pain. There's a lot of little plastic buttons everywhere. The nice thing is the bumper comes off in like one complete piece. Grill, bumper, everything, just all at once. It's just a lot of screws and buttons in some really weird places. Fortunately for me, the accident took care of about half of them. Once you get all of the hardware removed, you really just have to pull the bumper off and disconnect the headlights. It's not much more than that. Then it's time to remove the radiator support and the bumper reinforcement. This also comes off in one piece. There's just a lot of cables and wires you have to work around as well. So we're just disconnecting the fog lights and pulling off the bumper reinforcement here. Somehow all of my headlight bulbs were still functional after the accident, so I'm going to hold on to those. I might want them sometime down the road. This would also be a good time to remind anyone doing this to take special care of all the hardware. Mark it, organize it, keep track of it. It makes life a lot easier when you're putting everything back together. I had to put together a makeshift painting booth in my basement in order to paint my bumper. I wouldn't recommend doing this if you can avoid it. The fumes are something fierce, but I didn't really have a choice because you need to paint at a certain temperature, and if not, the paint doesn't really work. I picked up a few cans of color match spray paint at my local auto parts dealer. They can't guarantee the match, but it came out pretty close. And it was a lot cheaper than having a body shop paint it, let me tell you that. If you're looking for a fancy fix, this is not the way to go. But if you're a stingy, mustachioed gentleman like myself, you can't really beat it. Upon my initial assessment, I did not realize that my windshield wiper fluid reservoir was damaged, so I had to replace that as well. It's a $50 part, and it's pretty easy to replace, assuming that you're already doing a front-end repair, so not that big a deal. I just swapped out the old one for the new one and reconnected all the lines, and the pump and reservoir were back in commission. Here I am attaching my old bumper reinforcement to my new radiator support. According to the internet, it's easier to attach these two and then install them both on the vehicle at the same time. So hopefully I'm not recirculating bad information. The new radiator support was a little bit difficult to install. I don't know if I just got a cheap part and it just didn't quite fit right or what the deal was, but I did eventually get it in place. Replacing hood hinges is a challenge, or at least it is in Ford Fusions. Alright, so I got the hinge off. This is the new one actually. There's actually a piece up here that if you remove first, makes life a lot easier because you get a little more play in the fender. There's also this goofy little, I don't know what it is, some sort of threaded unit rig piece. So make sure you save that because otherwise you'll find yourself in a bit of trouble. I'm just reconnecting the release cable to the hood latch and putting that back on my radiator support. Pretty simple. There may very well be a better order of operations, but I didn't have too many issues. I apologize, folks. I did get it in. Apparently you need to put these back ones in first, and then you gotta kind of push it in and slide it, and the rest of them should go in place. But again, I hope that yours is made a little better than mine, so it's a little easier. That was in reference to the fog light trim and bezel. I'm just making a minor aftermarket modification to my bumper. Whoever made it didn't put notches in for me to attach my fog lights, so that's what I'm doing here. It did work. The grills are supposed to just snap into place, and the lower one did just fine, but the upper one was kind of a pain. It took a bit of coercion from the people's backhand. Ford Fusions have these weird chrome pieces that go in the front grille. I was able to salvage the middle one that had the Ford logo on it, but some of the clips broke off, so I'm just attaching it with a little super glue for a little extra security. I think this is called the bumper shock absorber or bumper absorber, something like that. It snapped into place no problems, and then I was ready to attach the rest of the bumper and grille. Pay no attention to that duct tape, I'll explain in a little bit. I did find some hardware kits on Amazon, so that helped out a lot. The only problem was I didn't know where everything was supposed to go, but I figured it out eventually. I was a little nervous when attaching the hood to the new hinges, not because I thought it was going to come down and ruin my beautiful face, but because I didn't know if it was going to work very well. Fortunately, it closed and opened just fine. I've been driving this for about a week now, but this headlight is held in by duct tape. When I took everything apart, I didn't realize that there wasn't really anything to attach it to the vehicle. It's otherwise perfectly fine, but I had to go and buy a new headlight because this one can't be attached other than with duct tape. So we're gonna get a new headlight installed now, and then I should be ready to roll. I'm not sure if there's something wrong with my car or what, but it's pretty surprising the amount of stuff you have to pull off the front of the vehicle to install a headlight. That shouldn't be the case, if you ask me. Almost got it. It's far from perfect, but so am I, and I don't need a perfect car to get me from A to B. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.